Empty.
What a well of knowledge this tome is. Dallas is such a dear lending it to me. Why, you're looking a bit more chipper. Yes. Looks like that collar fits you snugly enough. Nice bit of work, even if I do say so myself. There you are. Not too tight, I hope. The collar, I mean. Oh, not to worry. Every dog has to get used to it. Your next stop will be Magister William. All passengers have to be registered in the ship's manifest, and he's the chap in charge of the logs. You'll find him on the other side of this deck, in the officers' quarters. Why? Because we're at sea, of course, and have been for several...
Index fingers pressed to her lips, she pauses a moment to give you a scrutinizing gander.
My word, you do seem a bit befuddled, don't you? Perhaps I was a bit too generous with that sedative. Oh, well, I'm sure you'll soon gather your wits. Most likely. Eventually. In the meantime, all you need to know is that we're en route to Fort George. A new life awaits, and if you're a particularly good boy, perhaps a cure as well. An end to Sauce. For good.
No known associates. In fact, he seemed quite averse to spending time with us.
Good gods. There's been a murder here.
Now, where did I leave my calipers?
No marks.
Behind the Magister, a bloodied mass lies in a heap. Gore and limbs lie at odd angles. You can't make out a face amid the mess.
There's been a murder. A sorcerer was killed by one of your own. Lucky you were busy getting your collar fitted at the time. Waters is investigating. She'll figure out who did it. Always does.
Associates. In fact, he seemed quite averse to spending time with the others.
It's a small ship. His name was Finn. Oddball. Looked to me like he saw something he wished he hadn't. We'll find out who did it. One way or...
A young magister stands pale and silent. Her knuckles whiten around her weapon as you pass.
In fact, he seemed quite averse to spending time with the others.
Ugly sight, isn't it? Burns me up this happened under our protection. We're extremely lucky no Voidwalker followed the source that did this. Finn didn't see it like that. He was desperate for us to help him. Two things scared the living daylights out of him. We'll find out who did this.
She looks up at you with a mirthless smile.
I was on duty in your room when the murder happened. You were asleep the whole time. Didn't even stir. You're one of the only indisputably innocent people on the ship. Unless you can commit murder in your sleep, of course. Finn was killed by Source. If a Magister could do that, there wouldn't be a Magister. It looks more like a passenger managed to slip their collar. And the rest. Listen, I could use someone to keep their ears open among the passengers. Bring me a good lead, and I'll throw in a shiny gold coin for you. How about that? Thanks. I just want to catch whoever did this.
That's enough now.
I'm not suited for this. It's sea cow, not sea sheep. Haven't got any shoes, have you? People these days.
It was one of them. I know it. Would you put a knuckle in it? I'm trying to... I'll give you that knuckle if you keep carrying on.
One of us wouldn't kill our own.
An elf sits tucked away in a dark spot, lazily rolling dice onto the surface of a barrel. They sound like the dry cackling of an old witch.
Snake eyes.
She chuckles.
Insufferable, surely.
I bet that's just what they'll look like.
I'll tell you if you can keep
Rolling
quiet
dice.
enough for me to listen.
Deciding fates. Don't worry, honey. It isn't yours.
She looks you up and down with the merest hint of a coy smile on her lips.
Never say never, though.
She eyes you quite seriously.
Not the future, no. but I can read the past in flesh. One of the perks of being an elf, you see. I'm quite good at it, too. I could lick your arm and tell you how you spent the night before last. Shall I?
It was one of them. I know it. Would you put a knuckle in it?
She gives your arm a vigorous stroke of the tongue, efficient like a cat groomer.
You were in a cellar with other sorcerers. As if you were reminiscing about the things you used to do together.
Can we just skip to the part where I reassure you and you shut up?
Of course it is. The truth's... But don't you worry, darling. Your secret's safe. I don't lick and tell.
What are you trying to hear anyway?
I'll
The
tell
woman
you.
keeps rolling her dice.
Listen.
Never thought you'd end up a prison guard, Vic.
That right?
A scruffy man lounges against the wall with scarred arms folded. A sly smile playing on his face, he stares across at the Magister guarding him.
Watch your back, new fish. There's a murderer on board, and I'd bet 3 months' pay it's this tramp Ifan.
Rolling his eyes at the Magister's warning, the man named Ifan beckons again. He leans in and adjusts your collar with a sharp tug, balancing its weight so it no longer presses on.
Pinches less that way, right?
Hocking a phlegmy gobbet in your general direction, the sullen Magister settles back to his task of glowering at Ifan. And now, you.
We used to know each other, more's the pity. I was his commander many, many, many moons ago. Isn't that right, Vic?
Standing far back from Ifan, the tight-faced Magister draws one finger across his throat in an elaborate fashion, but says nothing. Ifan grins, flashing pointed white teeth.
Same as he was at 14 years old. Only difference is somebody gave him a bigger sword and now he's Johnny Big Pants.
How dare you classify this slop as food? I've seen more appetizing...
Long story. Maybe I'll tell you about it in the Joy. Away from interested parties. No. The dead man, Finn, is it? I'd no business with him. And
He glances over at Magister Victor.
Damn shame Sheeran... Joy, I've heard a lot. Nothing good. No wonder if we'll get to meet the ringmaster himself.
The Magister's more concerned than more appetite.
Don't you get saucy with me when you clearly don't know the first thing about sauce. It was one of them. I know it.
Would you put a knuckle in it? I'm trying to concentrate.
Easy now. I might think the same. But Vic...
What are you conspiring about over there?
Oh, don't mind him. Vic's just got a bee in his bonnet. And that bee is me.
Name?
One of us would kill our own. They're picking us off one by one.
Can we just...
Magister Victor looks at you suspiciously, then scrawls something illegible down in a tiny notebook. He scowls at you as he stows...
Away with you. At once.
Ifan performs an elaborate pantomime of...
What are you trying to hear anyway?
I'll tell you if you can keep it quiet long enough for me to listen.
A broad dwarf sits totally upright on the bench, eyes closed, palms face up on his knees. His beard is a cascade and he raises an eyebrow as you approach, but doesn't open his eyes.
Listen up, boy. You hear that?
How dare you classify this slop as food? I've seen more appetizing things coming out of plague-stricken pigs.
There's nothing else I can make, Your Majesty. Turnips and water are all I was given.
Unacceptable. I've never dined on anything less than a dozen-course dinner, and I don't intend to do away with the custom.
He turns his head toward you, looking you up and down.
You look like a boy to me. Listen if you're interested, or get gone if you aren't. The ship, of course.
A wave of sound washes over you, the unintelligible chatter of your shipmates.
And?
You, Jill, is that right?
The fellow cocks his ear. Listen.
That isn't anger, it's
He cocks his ear to the other side. Then,
anticipation. She senses something. And hold on, that's all you hear, though. Listen close. There now, just like that.
squeak!
Aha!
His eyes snap open as his countenance breaks into an expression of joy. One great paw claps you on the back. The other...
There. You heard it, didn't you? I knew it. I knew it. Aye, this is good news, boy. Good news.
I always knew you'd turn up dropped in the Ben nest. Your kind always...
No, you beautiful idiot. That wasn't any rat. It was the wheel. Squeaks whenever the helmsman jerks it clockwise. Burn my beard. That means if we'd been travelling for, yes, only 10.34 nautical miles to Fort Joy.
How dare you classify this slop as food? I've seen more appetizing things coming out of
Captain,
plague stricken-
actually. And that figure tells me we're...
The dwarf leans back from the table and strokes his beard, gold medallions jingling merrily.
That'll be all. Thank you kindly, boy.
I've never dined on anything less than a dozen course dinner, and I don't intend to do away with the custom.
Well, there has been a murder, Your Majesty. Maybe that has the Magister's more concerned than your appetite.
Don't you get saucy with me.
Well, well. What have we here? A fresh face in...
The lizard looks you up and down, like a farmer would have. All of a sudden, he grips you firmly by the chin, with the intent of inspecting your teeth.
Your kind always hung closest to our divine, like wolves around a campfire.
I'm inspecting your teeth. In case that wasn't There's some discoloration, but I've seen worse. After all, one can't expect to find... Now then, to business. You will answer me 3 questions. The first one is this. Can you cook? Oh, goodness, no. And don't even mention... On to the second question. Can you knit, weave? In short, tailor?
Your kind always hung closest to our divine, like wolves around a campfire.
We've got this wolf on a leash now.
Oh, but to feel the caress of satin on then to my final query. Have you the ability to administer the upkeep of one's personal appearance? The delicate art of cosmetics is what I'm after. Just as I thought. So, 3 questions asked, 3 questions... As per your own testimony, you can tailor, but you have the taste buds of a dung beast. That won't do at all, see? I'm sad to say I must deny you the opportunity to be my slave. Ever so sorry. My slave, of course. Oh, but I see. Yes, I suppose it must still. Hone your skills, and one day you may just qualify for a position in a lesser household than mine. You keep dreaming, you hear?
Never thought you'd end up a prison guard, Vic.
I spent my life singing for my slaves to bring me my supper. Finer fare than boiled roots and rotten tubers, too. Meanwhile, the Magisters feast on honeyed meat behind the...
Well, you've got this wolf on a leash now.
As soon as the Inquisitor gets here, we'll hang you right.
You! Sorcerer! Blood?
No!
Go! Oof.
Sing us a song, I know you can.
A no doesn't become a yes over time, you know. Ah, there you are. Husband.
Would you please tell this very charming gaggle of not-at-all brat-like babes that I am by no accounts this Losa woman, nor do I sing, in fact. I'm deathly, deathly allergical. How very correct you are, spouse of mine. Madame Josephine Gribbles de Peeb refuses to be What? What's so funny?
Her pinched face cracks into a great grin, and she shoos the children away from her with a laugh.
Yeah, okay, you found me out. Go on and git, and maybe I'll sing you something when I'm good and ready.
She turns to you, dark-eyed and dirty-haired, and smiles.
Gotta keep ourselves entertained, haven't we? Like yourself, maybe. I don't mind the kiddies, usually. Nope, trying not to find anything out either. Ignorance is bliss. The utterer, the better. Thanks, but I already belong to an elite and exclusive ship gang. We play... You take care, though.
Suddenly, her eyes cloud to an unnatural black. Greyish veins run down her face, and her mouth as quickly as they came. The clouds clear. She smiles as...
Good luck, Chief.
Unacceptable. I've never dined on anything less than...
It's a register, sir. Good, good. Magister Williams is just about done with the last part. You faring okay so far?
There has been a murder, Your Majesty. Maybe that has the Magisters more concerned than your appetite.
He tugs the collar of his uniform.
Sorry you're upset, sir. You head on in now. Williams will get you...
You're one of them? A Divine Order loyal? They killed a sorcerer, you know. They'll... It was one of them. I know. Keep those bones trained on her. And if she drops...
Standing at the centre of the room, you spot a sorcerer haughtily eyeing a pair of nervous-looking magisters. They keep their crossbow trained upon her as she's being interrogated by an officer.
So you admit it, then? You murdered that poor fella?
Yes, I did. But of course, that was only the beginning.
She turns her head and looks you straight in the eye.
There are others whose lives must end.
Good God! The woman, you there! Sorcerer! Go and fetch Magister Siwan! We need to do more than collar this maniac. We need to shackle her, hands and feet.
It means your journey draws to a close. Do stick around.
She reaches for her collar and simply removes it.
I'm just about to create...
Subdue her, men, quickly! If she casts Source, the Voidwoken will come.
She smiles with wicked satisfaction.
Precise.
What's happened?
dwarf lies in a heap on the floor, his great beard twisted and tangled around. The dwarf lies in a heap on the floor, his great beard twisted and tangled. You hear a faint thud, thud, thud. He's alive.
What? What happened? Must have been the turnips. You dare.
The lizard's eyes close as he... Ifan lies motionless, curled on the ground. His eyes flicker open. But loose him. Ifan cries out. Then his eyes fall closed again.
This again.
No, not the final dark. Not yet.
Her hand lies limp.
The dice roll darkly.
The elf lies motionless. In a heap on the floor. She's breathing normally. The Magister lies on the floor, unconscious and bleeding from a dire-looking wound. The Magister lies on the floor, unconscious and bleeding.
down. That doesn't bode well. Onwards and upwards.
The hound paws desperately at its snout. It winces as it draws blood from its wet black nose and continues scratching. The dog notices you for the first time and snarls, the hairs on its back prickling.
You sorcerer!
It sneezes suddenly and paws at its nose.
Can't smell. Can't breathe. Too much salt. Please, make it stop. Oh.
Sorcerer!
The dog whines and continues pawing.
Thank God!
He eyes the collar circling your neck and reaches a hand towards his blade.
Another sorcerer! Like you don't know? Mutiny! Did that witch fix your collar too? Go on then. Find a place to hide and...
Bishop Alexander, if Lucian were alive, what would he think of his son's divine order? What will happen?
God damn it! Need to get off this wreck, and quick! Not long before this thing snapped, great gods! Something's pounding on the hull!
marking on the door was painted recently, judging from its pungent scent. You recognize the symbol. You press your palm against the door to open it. The wood feels neither cold nor warm, but simply it doesn't budge. The door groans open, but an ashen shadow clouds your mind.
Deathmark! I need to get out of here now!
You pass through the door and are suddenly face to face with an undead. The skeleton is quickly leafing through a volume of Cranley Hubert's famous encyclopedia.
No! What damn fool? It catches fire.
The skeleton looks up.
Oh. Yes? Shouldn't you be running or screaming?
The skeleton groans.
I know your god did not gift you with much, but do you look at me and think, why yes, there is someone with organs enough to drown? No, damp robes are the most... Whereas you, I believe, have lifeboats to pointlessly squabble over. I believe you did. Although I was wearing the face... I had a mask, rather ingeniously designed. A mask that was stolen by that damn... Still, she'll drown with the rest of these fools, and I will simply pluck my mask from her cold, dead hands.
The skeleton holds up his...
I am trying to discover, and I will be damned if I let the... Go on! Go! Swim or drown or